Hey, John, hi. Just sort of daydreaming here. Welcome, everybody, to our acrylic Thursday hour of acrylic painting with Ginger Cook and John Little. We appreciate you showing up. We're going to not only give away the painting that I'm doing today to someone, a member of our current live audience, but we're going to share with some fun things about the puzzle projects, community puzzle projects, and there's more, so stay tuned.
Ginger Cook, the queen of color, with a blazing brush at the speed of light, and a blank canvas, and a hearty yes and yes. The queen of color, Ginger Cook, and her sidekick, John Little, teach you to paint with acrylics. And looky there, we are back.
Hi, you guys. Hey, John.
Hey, Ginger, you're looking mighty fine.
Thank you, thank you. You know what? I want to thank you again for, John did me a favor. I had this brilliant idea of showing, someone asked us to demonstrate absorbent ground by Golden. And so that has to dry overnight. So here's a couple of canvas sheets with it on there. And we're going to show you why you might want to use that as a different way to paint something, okay? So just something fun to do.
Something different.
Something different. We like to share different things. We just last week we did, Monday we did an interesting medium. We'll show you that picture in a minute. The one we did the one with we added the flowers and stuff using molding paste.
Did you grab
I think
that
it's
one?
not really modeling paste, it's molding paste. I just keep saying it wrong. But molding paste, whatever it is, that's what we used.
Did you grab that picture?
I didn't, John, but we'll get it in a minute.
Okay.
Right? So right now you can see I've got a color wheel out. I'm all about color. It's going to be a little garden scene because everybody seems to like that. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just take a colored pencil and just lightly sketch where I want to be. I want to come up, this is a 6x8 canvas, coming up about halfway. That's too dark. Ooh, don't want to use that. Here, let's try green. That'll be good. I'm going to just start about there and come down about here and just sort of very gently do a light line. And then right about here, I'm going to say that I've got my little pot, these simple pots that we do, okay? Get just a pot and there's something here, right? So, I think I've got that over far enough. I may not. This is why I like that. Let's just move this over a little bit further. Not quite the center. I'm going to move it over just a little bit further.
Lorraine says Ginger looks gorgeous tonight.
Well, thank you. Thank you. And then I'm going to put some lines going this way, like that. Kind of like this. A little bit of diagonal. We're not going to talk too much about them, but they're going to be there. I'm going to suggest some lines. And so, because this is pretty much a very simple painting, and we're going to keep it simpler. Now, what we're using is the Salvador paints, and the new sets have come in. I'm still on my old set, but let me show you the difference. They came up with not only a normal regular tube of white, right? But they also included in the new sets a larger tube of white, and the caps now function as an opener. So they've got this little pointy thing. When you turn it upside down, it breaks the seal. But listen, there's more, you guys. Guess what it does. You see how this one's white? Well, this one's yellow because when you punch it in there, it tells you what color what tube the cap goes to. Before, remember, I was just kind of putting a little paint on the top there, but this is so much better. That's old tubes, right? Come on, that's just major.
That alone is worth it to me. Being a sock holder.
You've still got, if you go to our Amazon link,
it's right in the description.
In the description.
In the video below.
They're still doing a 15% off code, but the whole kit, 25
It's 24 colors plus a double
thing of white, and you've got the brushes and all of that for $25, and if you're a Prime member, it's free shipping. in the States, and then what else? It's
And we're trying to work with Canada because we know Canada wants it, and I've been working with my gal, and they're trying to get Amazon Canada to get them in, but it's just an act of Congress to do anything in that regards.
So they're trying, you guys.
Yeah.
So we're sorry if but the thing is, this is what's so cool to me. When they ladies, this is before we went on our cruise before Christmas, and they sent us. She said, "Would you be interested in trying?" We said, "Oh yeah, everybody wants us to try everything." We're going, "Yeah, ho ho hum," right? And then when we tried them, and we gave them feedback. They listened. We said, "Well, it's a pain to open these things," and they came up with a cap. How much did that cost to have to retool that whole thing to make this little nifty cap opener? Because this cap is a totally different cap than this one.
Not even close to the same
You
thing.
see what I mean? And then they had to redo the box to add the extra paint in there. And then they came up with this giant tube of white.
Now they're talking about bringing over some of the more popular colors in the larger tubes as well. That's in the works, and once it's available, she'll let me know, and she'll give us some samples so we know what colors they're coming over with to start with.
And I can't tell you. I mean, I used to teach at Jerry's Artorama years ago in Houston. I taught, and and they made noises like they were really interested in any feedback I had on their product. Well, boy, you told them anything negative, they didn't want to hear it. For me, anyway. They really. It's so rare that anybody, and as an artist, it's so frustrating. When you can't get that. And they listened, and I think that's huge.
They listened and reacted and fixed it.
They heard, everybody else just goes ho-hum, right? This was really nice. So I can't say enough nice things about that. I'm going to put those tubes out of the way so we don't use them. Now, that being said, I'm going to start my background off. Now, because this is absorbent ground, we got to do this differently.
How so?
Well, if you're doing, if you're absorbent ground, your paint's going to dry lighter, but instead of starting with the dark first, we're going to start with the lighter colors first and add the dark, which is totally different than you'd normally do.
So you're kind of doing it more like a watercolor.
You've got to do it more like a watercolor, and I've got a very wet brush, and I'm just going to take some water and kind of wet this little section of canvas here, right here where this is, right? And I'm going to take this pretty light yellow color and just kind of blend that in. See that? That's my light yellow. I might take a little bit more yellow right here. I want my lighter colors in first here, and then I might take a little of this green, a little bit of a light green color, maybe a little bit of the white. Let's see. We're gonna just play with the colors a little bit differently than I would normally. Does that make sense?
Well, yeah.
So I'm going to rinse the brush now and kind of wipe it off. And now I want something a little orange over here, so I'm going to try that. And just put a little water on the brush and kind of smudge that out.
Amazon UK don't have the Salvador paint kits yet either. I'll give her a shout and let her know that and see if she has anything she can do about that.
So I put a little bit of this orange over there too.
Oh, I like that.
That was pretty, right? Kind of blended all that in, right? And then maybe put a little bit of orange up here, maybe up here in the sky. Now, it's not really sky, it's all foliage, right? So now I want to do a little different green. So I might take, well, let's see. I still want some yellow and green here. Over in this area in here, I'm just going to, this is just water on the brush now. Just kind of putting this in here like this. And I want this lighter color first. Maybe I'll take, if you put more pigment and less water, okay? Let's do that. Now, let's take a little bit of this grayed color. This is more of a grayed green. Put a little magenta with it to kind of gray it out. It's too dark, but not really too dark. Here comes some of my darker colors. Put a little magenta with that green. There you go, some dark green up in here.
Here's a question here I'll probably answer for you. Does the absorbent ground work similar to the golden fiber paste? No.
No.
Not even the same thing. The golden fiber paste is going to make your canvas look like homemade paper, is what that's designed for. Absorbent ground is making it like a watercolor. It's becoming absorbent.
Yeah,
you can see how it's kind of
you see how it's
bleeding out.
It's bleeding out, and it's going to be see, and here's like I say, here's some of my darker colors. I want a little bit of a darker green up here. And of course you can layer it, right? You can layer all this, but I kind of wanted to have that effect, and I'm rinsing my brush all the time now doing this.
How many coats of absorbent ground were applied to that canvas? About 4. They say put on more thin coats, just lots of thin coats.
Here's a little gold. That's a little gold color because I'm starting to get some stuff a little darker. Still like that orange. This is pretty. Let's put some of this orange in here.
Christine says, what is absorbent ground?
It's a medium. It's what we call a medium.
It's going to make it more like a watercolor.
It turns it more like paper.
Yeah, it's becoming it's absorbent.
Your canvas is not.
I guess it's wicking.
It's wicking. Yeah, like if you you put ink on a shirt and it kind of spreads out, kind of thing, right? Yeah. Like that. But it's definitely wicking. And like I say, I'm going to go ahead and still have some darker stuff here, but you do the darker last, and it's as you go. So we're going to do that right there, okay? Now, take a little bit of brown and black here, and I want to come along. See, I'm just going to spray the canvas with a little water.
Have you used the new white?
I have not used it yet. Okay, so I'm going to spray the canvas with a little water. I'm going to come along here over my lines. Do you see how this wants to wick?
Let me get a close-up on that action.
You see how that wants to wick?
Yeah. Yeah, just like watercolor does.
Yeah, it's going to work. It's going to wick a little bit like paper.
Yeah.
And I'm going to spray a little bit more water on there. And just going to come under here like that, just a little bit darker than I want it. And
is that a good brush that you're using like that?
What do you mean it's a good brush? We like
it's our normal angle brushes.
Angle brush, yeah.
And yeah, they're good brushes. You don't have to do anything different because you're using absorbent ground.
No, you don't. You don't have to do anything different. I'm going to put a little of this shadow color back in here.
And you would like to say, Ginger and Jon, sending you hugs tonight. You really needed to know that you are loved and appreciated.
Who said that?
Amy.
Thank you. Now I'm going to put a little bit of gray back in here. Color, kind of a brown color, right? So far I haven't done much of anything. There's a little bit of blue to this brown color, kind of where my shadow is. And let's just do this with the...
That's really cool how it's just...
You can see how it's kind of wicking. Can you see that?
I can see that.
And let's take a little bit of this gold color, because I don't want it quite so dark here. Put a little of this gold, kind of a yellow oxide or ochre color here. And now, this is kind of fun, because I want this to go across like this. Let's see how I want that.
Elena wants to know, would this method work on watercolor paper?
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. But you can't here's the trick, friends. Watercolor paper only comes so big. You can do this to a giant canvas.
Yeah.
Yes? Yes and yes? Do you kind of hear where I'm going with that, right?
Well, you get big watercolor, but not as big. I don't think you can't get a...
You can't, and watercolor paper you get it much over 8 by 10 or 9 by 12. It's very expensive to frame. Canvases, you can make any canvas be like paper.
Yeah.
So I'm going to kind of wet this over here a little bit. And just absorb that up. Let me see if I just absorb that up just a little bit. There you go. That's pretty good, actually. I'm kind of happy with that. There. Okay. So I'm suggesting these tiles, kind of. Just going to suggest that there might be some. And this paper is still pretty wet, right? So I mean I think that's kind of I think it's kind of it's a neat technique, because what happens is then you can here it is. What you can do with this is you can then have a combination on a large canvas of a watercolor effect and an oil painting effect. And it blows people away when you do that, because
it's all done with acrylics.
And it's all done with acrylics.
So it really drives them nuts.
Yeah, so let's take a little bit of this green color, I think.
No, this is not watercolor night.
This is not watercolor night. This is
Ginger only plays with acrylics.
This is only acrylics. But the Salvador paints are very fluid anyway, so it's very good to do that with
It's a good medium, yeah.
because they're naturally very fluid. And so then I'm just going to try something a little bit darker. You see how all these colors just sort of want to wick into each other? Some of you guys that have trouble blending, this is a good trick, because it automatically kind of wants to blend because it all kind of wants to kind of go together, right? So I'm just, again, just tapping in a few of these darker colors. Now this is all pretty wet, right? And which I think is kind of cool. Now if you're going to change colors, now here's the thing. Let me just move this. Here's one of their brushes, which are very soft. This is a brush from the Salvador paint set, and this would be a good one to do. Let me just come up here. Is this dry? Here's the thing. If you go over, you see how I'm kind of lifting? You see I'm lifting some of the color?
Just like a watercolor.
Just like watercolor, you can lift. You can kind of lift up the color if you get too much. You can lift it up. For instance, like let's just say right over here, I wanted to lift something up. This is how you erase in watercolor. You just kind of put a little water on there and then lift up. See that little light spot? And I'm going to say I want something over in here that's going to be a little lighter. It's a really, I think it's a pretty effect. You know, there's so many different ways to paint something. There's so many different ways to create art, and I think the idea that there's just one right way to do it. What we try to show you in our academy is we show you how Van Gogh painted it, how did Monet paint it, how did somebody that lived 100 years before that paint it, how might I paint it, how if there's 20 different ways and brush techniques to do a landscape and we show you 10, maybe the next one will be your way because it's sort of a combination. You combine the things that you've learned and then maybe come up with something different. You see what I'm saying? You see how see how I'm lifting up some of that just with the water like that?
Patricia's asking, is it hard to put on? I'm assuming you're asking about the absorbent ground. It's when you put it on, you got to work quickly because it gets sticky fast. So you put a lot on and you really smush it around pretty quickly if you want to try to do it thin layers. We've done both thin and thick. I think doing multiple thins works better. It gives a more, it just seems to be more absorbent for whatever reason. Doesn't make sense to me, but.
Yeah, just see how you can kind of layer it after it dries. See what I mean? See how I'm layering it? Now I think one of the things I can show you, for instance, on this pot, let me just show you here. I've just got a little bit of a kind of a pink color. And I'm just going to go ahead and paint the pot in. Now, these brushes that come in the Salvador kit are perfect for stuff like this, because they're very soft brushes. So when you're doing something like that, they're ideal. Okay? And we're going to say there's our little pot here. Okay?
I'm liking how that's looking.
So that's an interesting thing. Now, if you want
You're getting a totally different effect than your normal painting style.
It is. Now, like, you can take a little bit of a clean brush and water, and you can add a highlight just by erasing. See what I just did? I can add a highlight under this rim just by erasing that. Or maybe over here and show another one right here. And you can still do it with paint, just the way we always do it. You can still do that. But, see what I mean? You can rinse, wipe, swap. You can really get some interesting highlights on that. And then if you want to, you can come back with the color. And you don't have to have, it doesn't have to be that thin. You can have it a little bit. Let's put a little blue with that. With that color, that sort of, there you go. There you go. So I want it a little bit darker down in here, right? I can have that. And when it dries, I can even do it more. But I'm just kind of showing you what you can do the first time with just this.
Wet, yeah.
Just what are we doing here with this, right? I know, for instance, I wanted a little bit darker.
Now, we're getting the question here. A lot of people don't have this set of colors. Because we don't have this set of colors, can you tell us the alternatives from the basic set? basic colors.
Well, you would make, this is cad yellow medium and yellow oxide, and you can make a bright green using phthalo blue and white and yellow, mostly white and yellow and a little bit of phthalo blue, or phthalo green and white and yellow. So you can mix any of these colors the same way. You're still going to want magenta.
Always got to have magenta.
You always want magenta and maybe a little purple. What I want to do now is I'm going to let this sit for a minute. I want to show you something else. That has to just dry for a second.
Sure.
In fact, I think, could you have something you can show them, John? Because I want to use the hairdryer on this.
I could do, just, I might be able to.
Okay.
I got to think where I might have put it, though. Here.
Yeah,
Check
because I mean, this is wet enough where these, you
Yes.
know, if it weren't for this absorbent ground, it would be curling on me. Okay?
Yeah.
So I'm going to just dry it.
Okay,
right?
you go ahead. All right, well, she's busy drying that. We have the community puzzle project, which we have completed. The village of Alba has completed their puzzle, and you're looking at it right there, right now. We had 64 pieces put together, and this is what we came up with as a final. And keeping with the times, we have got t-shirts and coffee mugs to commemorate the fine event of getting the village of Alba's first puzzle piece done. And right now they're offering a 10% discount. It's going to be good through Sunday at midnight Eastern time. I see the girls have put the links in the description in the chat, and hopefully I'll remember to add that to the description afterwards. But that is what it does, and that's what it is, and I just can't be more pleased with the outcome of that puzzle.
Oh, are you showing them? Isn't that?
I'm sorry, I'm ahead of you, kiddo.
Can you turn me back on, right?
Oh yeah. Oh wait. I'm glad you said that.
Don't you guys think that's amazing?
I just think it's great.
I think it is so cool. I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff that happens in our studio, but I think this was, one of the things that I saw this guru say when the pandemic first started and they were everybody sheltering at home, was they said try to do something that's fun, and and we wanted, when we were going every day for in a row for a while for 60 days solid. I thought that, as fun as that is, we need to continue the fun. And John and I were so impressed with what you guys did. And, we're keeping it going. And I said, well, John, is there going to be another Alba village? And he said, no. He says there's an Alba, and then there's one that starts with a B. It'll go all the way to Z, and then we'll start over with another one. So when you're part of a village with the puzzles, when you become one of our village people, when you sign up and you become a part of a village, that's you and your group. That's you guys. You're just exclusively you. Isn't that cool?
Well, you could join another village once
you
that village is done.
Join another village.
Just sign up and we go through. Right now, we have close to 500 people that literally that want to play. And we thought when we first came up with the idea, we get 25, 30 people will be lucky.
Yeah, I just didn't think anybody cared, but we really appreciate it.
Little did we know.
Yeah.
But I tell you, it is really cool. And then next pieces, they're going to be a 3-inch by 4-inch piece, and I'm going to do a little demo as far as how I want you guys to do them. That's in that village. The Bacharach village has been set up, and there's 84 members in there. So you can go to the communitypuzzleproject.com and look under the Bacharach to see if you're listed in there. More information will be coming later this week on that group.
Yeah, so just
So looking forward to that. Melanie wants to know, does the paint dry faster or slower with absorbent ground?
That's the same.
I think it's a little slower because you're wetter.
Well, it's a little, maybe so.
Probably just a touch slower, not a lot.
Not a lot, right? But we got something going here, right? So now I'm going to go with a little bit of the white paint here. Let's see, I don't want that. I had some pink on the brush. So let's just keep going with this, right? So this is...
Wait. Because this goes along with your question. I think it was, I want to find it as I scroll past me. How much water are you, here. Ginger, how much water do you use with the paints when you're using the absorbent ground? It's a lot more than you normally do.
Yeah, you use it a lot more than you do it because I either miss the ground, so I want it to wick. You know what I mean?
So you're treating it more like a watercolor.
Yeah, you're treating it more like a watercolor at this stage, and then I just kind of want it to wick, right? So, um, mostly I want kind of an off-white here. Mostly white with just the tiniest bit of color on it, and I want to come over here like this, and just suggest some tiles here.
I like that. Tiles.
Just some little, just some, some sort of floor here. You can see
Now I
where.
see the black or the darker color splattered when you dried
Yeah,
it.
because it was pretty wet.
That's kind of a cool effect, though.
Yeah, I don't hate it. You know what I mean? It's like when what did Bob Ross call those kind of happy accidents?
Yeah. Hey,
You know?
Brian would like to thank you for the super chat donation. Ginger and John, I've been following you on YouTube for a couple years now. Every time I tune in, I learn something new from both of you. I appreciate you both so much. Keep doing what you do.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, so back up in here, for instance, I'm going to want some bright red flowers, so I'm going to take some white right now and just put white over there, because red is always the happiest over white.
And same as yellow.
And the same as yellow, so we know we're going to want some bright red flowers that are going to tone in here like this. And maybe a couple up here. And then down in here like this. Got some bright red flowers. Now, these flowers here, let's see, I think this is my magenta color. Is that red? No, that's kind of a red pink. This is the magenta. Let's see what that color is. Yeah, there's my magenta color. So I want some magenta flowers in here. And I want to paint them over something pretty bright. So I'm going to just tap a few in here. So let's just make it a little bit brighter. Gonna tap a few in. Let's see if I get these. If they're gonna have to be lighter, let's see. There it goes. It's gonna be bright enough. Okay, I'm just kind of experimenting here because I haven't done this painting before. We're doing it together, right? So I want to just see. I'm up here to the green, and that's pretty. All right, for sure, that's nice.
Hey, we'd like to thank Eric for the super chat. Yahoo! Vegas will be opened up by June 4th, and my art store, Dick Blick, is open, and I went shopping.
Oh,
Got
wow.
some more big canvases.
Good for you, Eric. Good for you. I think that, just, I'm going to just do a little bit darker, something in here where my flowers are, my leaves are, and then we'll have to just compensate by making the flowers white. I can see I can do that, but I need the dark green underneath here. Probably should have done that before I dried it, but you know what? I didn't, so in hindsight, I would have done that first, but I didn't do it. And then I've got some bright. Now this is interesting. Now now we're using kind of the oil painting effect. No water at all anymore. We're all done with the water, you guys.
So now we're going into oil
Now
paint.
we're just going into the oil painting effect. All done with the water.
So this is a watercolor oil painting done with acrylics. I love that.
Yeah, and yeah, absolutely. So our goal here is to
confuse everybody.
Confuse everybody. So we're adding yellow to the lighter green to even make it lighter. They have a very light yellow, and I want some real bright yellow up here. There you go. So put these in the foreground by doing that. Okay. Okay. So I've got those are all going to be pink flowers. If you get my drift here. Okay. Okay. I mean, that's kind of, I don't know. I think that's kind of cool. And then maybe back over in here, let's take a little bit of blue and white. And let's suggest that there might have been, we'll just tap something back up in here like that. There might have been some, something growing in the background here that we're not talking about. Just a few little dabs of blue because it's pretty, right? And
Linda says, I love the puzzle project. John, you are awesome. Thank you, Linda. Going to get my shirt and mug. Already signed up again a while ago to do another one.
Well, it's interesting. They don't take that long to do, and it's fun to see how everybody's, if you have 2 or 3 people, witnessing, say, a traffic accident, nobody has the same story of what happened. And the same thing, no 2 artists are going to paint the same thing, just like your handwriting's all different, like we all look a little bit different. Let's make this a little lighter here. Okay, so oil painting effect now, not the watercolor effect. See what I mean? Because it's going over that. Yes and yes.
That's cool.
I mean, it is different. It's a different way of having a look. I guess that's what I would say. What's different to me is it's
For a sock folder, this would be the ultimate way to get an impressionistic painting, because you can't help but make it impressionistic because the water is moving things around for you.
Yeah, for sure.
You can't put detail into it.
No. I think I want to put a little bit more emphasis into my pot than I have. So I'm going to go ahead and paint the pot with a little bit more a shadow area under here. Okay, like that. And make sure that I've got a...
We'd like to thank Andrew for the donation that came in. Ginger and John, we would be on that wedding cruise now.
Oh.
I just wanted to say, I'm sorry that it did not happen.
Me too, Andrew, but we have not given up. We're still getting married. We would have been married today, and Andrew would have been John's best man. Hey, Andrew, I had the greatest thought for you. I was going to write you, but I'll just tell you right now since you're here. I thought, if you're still doing the Tom shoes, the hand-painted Tom shoes, if you've got your people still doing that, you ought to talk to the company and see about making a matching mask to go with the shoes, hand-painted masks, sell them together. I think people are going to start making mask sort of statements, right? I think the masks are here to stay, I guess is what I'm saying. Anyway, but it's just a thought. I thought of you when I thought of that. I said, yeah, it'd be cool. They could just make the mask too. Match it. I noticed that one of the United States senators was doing a news conference yesterday, and I thought I think it was Nancy Pelosi, and she had normally she wears a scarf. You always see her with a scarf, but this time she had this fancy mask on a very nice fabric. It wasn't overdone, but I'm thinking, okay, so now that's going to be a whole new industry here. People are going to sit. I got to go out and wear one of these things. I don't want to look like I just came from a nuclear bomb site and I'm afraid of radiation. Yeah. Is that a good analogy, John?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, just a thought. It could be wrong, but just a thought. So.
John, is there a DIY replacement to keep from buying absorbent ground? I don't think so.
No, and
it won't work the same way.
No, I'll tell you what. No, and even Liquitex's Liquitex makes something called stucco, but it's very rough and cement-like. And I like stucco for walls and stuff. Stucco is perfect for walls. It works the same way.
Adobe stuff.
But it's very, very rough, like sandpaper. Where absorbent ground is, and then they also make something. They make an absorbent ground for some other thing they make for, like, if you're doing pastels.
Yeah, they make an absorbent pastel one.
Yeah.
Liquitex does.
Yeah, they make it like one for pastels, and I'm not sure how that works. But I'll tell you who might know.
Your daughter.
Yeah, Cinnamon would know. Cinnamon knows all that stuff. I'll tell you what, she is such a wealth of information. She definitely, I think, might know. I feel that about her.
For those people that are showing up now or had missed out, we are doing absorbent ground. Is the background? Do you have that jar you can hold over there again?
Yeah, we're using this. It's golden absorbent ground.
There you go.
You need at least 24 hours for it to dry. So it's not like it's really a sock folder.
You have to plan ahead.
You have to plan ahead, right? But again, you get this sort of watercolor effect. Now, most of the time, if you just wanted that effect, you could use papers. Yeah, sure, you could use paper, but here's the thing. When you're talking about a large painting and you want this effect, it's great because it'll convert your canvas into that paper effect. And then when you're tired, if you don't want it to wick anymore, you can then you can varnish over it with like a matte varnish and seal it.
Yeah, just put an isolation layer in it, then you go back to
isolation
regular.
And then keep painting. You can see how we've got this. I mean, it's a really, really, I think, a kind of a cool effect. For me. Now you've got to be kind of careful. Let's see, I want some of this color, and let's see, a little bit of white. This bright green, I want a little bit of this bright green color. And again, you can layer. I want a little bit of this green color in there like that, back in there. You can tell, that's one of my colors I'm extremely fond of, can you tell? And I want some of this red color, and I want to suggest that there might be some sort of red plants in here against the green. That looks a little dark, so that's okay.
You'll fix that.
I'll just take this and do this.
What is this that you're doing? Oh,
It's just mop it up. But I wanted a little bit of that. I wanted to suggest that there might be a little
something
bit
back
of the
there.
dark here in the green, because I wanted this a little bit darker back here. And red over green kind of disappears. So
Carol says, I just found my Salvador paints from Amazon on my porch. Yay!
Yeah, I mean, it's so cool. If you came in late, this is their new improvements. The caps
We
are all.
complained.
We complained, and they heard us. And the caps are normally they're just sealed with some metal so that the paint stays fresh. And they were a little tricky to open unless you had a little handy nail or something. And so they went ahead and redesigned the caps. And there's like a little sharp thing inside there, not enough where you'd hurt your finger like this. It's tucked in there. It's clever how they did it. So you wouldn't hurt yourself after that. But now you know what color is in that cap, in the tube. Here's a yellow one, see? Now you know, where before what I was doing is just
Any old witch one.
just painting the top of the tube, see? So, I mean, and you can see that they redesigned the entire cap. I mean, this is nice. I gotta say, I really like that.
It's nice when a company listens.
It is nice when a company listens, and I think let's see. I'm gonna just use a little water on that and see if I can move that. Now look, see, because the ground's still here. See, I can still move that paint. You guys see that? Because the absorbent ground is still good. I can still move that paint a little bit. Where if this. There you go. Okay, so, all right. So I've got this, we're going to put pink flowers there. We're going to put some white flowers here. So, now is this dry? No. I tell you what, this isn't dry either. Are you dry? No. Let me just leave that sit for just a second. I want to show you something anyway, okay? Many of you guys know that we have an academy where every week our members get new art. And this, if you want to back out, this is an 8x10. It's a coffee cup. It's part of our coffee collection, and it's the coffee beans in the cup with the, the steam and everything. And we have a whole series of art that's part of our kitchen collection. And I'm just going to take a second while this is drying and showing you, because we've done a bunch on YouTube too. You can't imagine. Here we go. Look at that. Here's another one, part of the kitchen collection. These all go. And, see, I mean, if you're just, looking for some stuff to paint and do a collection of things, we have a whole collection of kitchen art. I just thought I'd show it to you. Look at that. And this is all in the Academy of Fine Art and Acrylic Painting. The apple is a free lesson we actually have on our Beginner Acrylic Academy. It's a free lesson on Beginner Acrylic Academy. It's part of it. This is another one. This was we combine artwork from some of our old dead artists, like Van Gogh and this artist, and here's this is on YouTube. Again, great kitchen art. Another one. I keep piling them up. Can you see that? He backed out. Okay. Great kitchen art.
How tall is your stack now?
Huh? What?
Never mind.
I've got this giant stack, but here's the
You
thing.
do.
And you could change the colors on this and keep it all neutral and have the same kind of thing. So that's the advantage of something like this. I'll just put all these away now. I wanted to take a moment and show you that and then here's another one, Ode to Coffee. So you would probably want to start with with a basic painting of something like this to make sure, before you tackle this, because it's a much larger picture. But you could see how they all could go, yes and yes?
Yes and yes.
So that's the thing that we like to bring you guys, is like collections of things. And we just thought that was too cool and had to show you. Yes and yes. All right. I
Do
think
you want yesterday's painting?
Yeah, do you have that? And I'll keep going here.
Are you dry?
I think I'm dry enough to put the white. I want to put the white. I've got some daisies in this little clump of group here, and I'm just using a little angle brush here, and just gonna go ahead and put in the little daisies.
It's behind you with the
Okay.
pins. You need to mention those too.
So kind of a little star pattern there.
Well, that's looking good.
Yeah, if people are saying just doesn't take long. Just use the hairs, this right front hairs on the brush. You know,
So
maybe,
Andrew, if you're still out there, this is a lesson for you to get looser. I'm thinking it'll work.
well, you have to be, and you can have fun with this. You know, you can dry and layer. It's I think it's a lot of fun. And then let's see, we've
You
got
just gotta
some.
make sure you do it well in advance. You know, prep your canvas.
Yeah, and
Maybe.
also if you're one of those people that likes to paint on canvas board, which is very cheap, you know, it's just thin piece of canvas glued on a piece of cardboard, and that's like one of those challenging things for me to paint on, because that's, you know, you put a layer of this absorbent ground on it, and now it's kind of nice, and you can add a lot of water if you do a couple layers of absorbent ground. It's not going to wick up on you. I mean, it's not going to curl up on you because you've got the all right, you see that? Do you think these are dry? Yeah, those are dry. Now we're going to come by and do this. And we're just going to tap in the flowers. And just a general shape, okay? Just trying to, this is loose. We're implying flowers. One of my students that takes private lessons from me is doing this cool tree from Oregon. And apparently it's in the Japanese garden up there in Portland. And I guess it's a beautiful, famous tree. And she was going to get a stencil to paint all the leaves. And I said, but generally, you know, it's just like you don't paint every brick in a picture. You just imply a few. See, we implied a few bricks here. You don't have to paint all of them. Yes, and, you know, just a few. And the same thing is that you can have the detail on a few flowers. You don't need the detail on all of them. And that's kind of what you're doing is you're implying it. Make sense?
Indeed.
And make sure some of them touch.
I don't understand this question.
Do we have a question? Cool.
Can Ginger show how she paints the birds from Monday, please? Did we do birds on Monday?
Yeah, I put those little birds in.
Where? Oh.
Yeah, those little birds in the picture. Sure.
Those silly little birds without the tractor? No, she can't show you that. She can't show you another bird until there's a tractor on that canvas.
He's kidding. But see, this looks already kind of nice, and we haven't put any colors in the flowers, right? This is the kind of painting that, you know, it's a totally different style, isn't it? Than
If you just want to play with color and just relax and not stress
where's
over
my
it.
little frame that this goes in, John? I should have a frame for this flowers. Sorry, but
I don't know what came over me, my queen.
I don't either. Actually,
Off with my head, I say. Off with it.
I'll tell you what. That's right. You know. What came over you?
I don't know.
Let's see,
I was just struck by your beauty, and I couldn't stand it anymore. My
Oh.
brain went jello. Here, have a turtle.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay. So here's the picture from Monday, and someone said, "How do we do these birds?"
Very carefully.
Well, imagine you wrote the letter V and sat on it.
That's a good way to put it. And then you emphasize it by putting a line under it.
Yeah,
if you're
and here's
bigger.
the thing. Did you ever play airplane when you were a little kid? You had your arms out like this, and you went round, you made all the propeller noise. You didn't hold them out straight out like this. You tilted them. You always want to tilt the V. The smaller the V, the farther back the bird is. Okay? Make sense?
Yeah.
That's how you do it. This is a very simple bird. I mean, you know, if things are far away, you don't really see that much anyway. But anyway, that was yesterday's That was Monday's painting. That was well, someone's going to win this one, which I think is kind of cool. And I'm going to do a little bit more detail down in here, I think.
We want to say congratulations to Jeff. That's Tonia's husband. He got a superior rating during his employee evaluation today.
Oh my gosh, good for Jeff.
He's a EMT extraordinaire.
Say, Tony, I never heard, did your daughter-in-law like the baby stuff? She just had a baby. She just had another grandchild. I know she was taking some stuff over to her. All right, so now we go.
How does Ginger store all her paintings? We have auctions. We count on you people to store them.
Yeah. Speaking of that, if you do you know who the lady was that there was on the very last auction? We had the little boy in the suitcase.
The little boy in the suitcase. That winner never came forward, so we addressed the second person, who's an Australian. Was the second place winner, and we sent an email to her asking if she would like to have it.
Yes.
For her bid.
So yeah.
If you're out there and you're from down under, and you bid on the last auction we did, the marathon auction we had, that had the little boy, his tractor, and his teddy bear. No, not his tractor. Silly me. How'd that slip in there?
I don't know, John. I think sometimes you lose your mind, right?
I do. I tell you. I'm just all befuddled by you.
I know it.
A tractor and an abstract. Yeah, that's what this is. This is really a tractor. Don't encourage her.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to have to paint my own tractor. I will.
Well, there's been some beautiful ones showing up on YouTube. Have you commented on Facebook? Have you commented on all the beautiful tractors that people have been sending you? Saw another one today.
I haven't been there. I haven't been there in a couple of days.
All right. So I think I told you I wanted these to be more of an orange color, and that they're going over the kind of an orange red. They're going over the.
Now remember, if you'd like an opportunity to possibly win this painting that she's doing right now before your very eyes, make sure that you enter our little drawing.
That's it. When they're painting with the flowers, are generally always at least 2 colors, sometimes 3. You start with your darkest reds first, darkest colors first, and then go. Okay?
Noka wants to know, is it possible to paint like Norman Rockwell using acrylics?
Sure. You can do anything with acrylics.
You can do watercolor, you can do oil painting, you can do just
Acrylics
washes.
are this generation's paint. You know, this is the
paint of choice.
Let's see, I want this color.
So now we're doing a little bit more of an oil style. Putting it on thick.
We're dabbing on the texture now of these flowers, right? Doing a little bit more of the oil painting style, but they're coming up. Let's see, some bright yellow. Some brighter yellows in here. And then I want some darker greens. See, that's the trick, is when you put the darker green colors. Well, I'm not making this up. I do have a reference, okay? So I can come back up in here over my lighter colors now, which are glowing, and add some of the darker greens.
Patricia's working on her Holbein order, and she couldn't remember if you use opera or rose.
Luminous rose.
Rose.
The opera is almost like iridescent Pepto-Bismol pink. Luminous
really,
rose is the color. I mean,
yeah.
You might, if you can. They have they were doing a set of all the luminous ones you could buy, which I thought looked pretty interesting too. Now let's see. Let's take a little blue. Let's take a little blue-green color here.
This is going to be the most unusual request I think I have ever heard. Brenda says, "Can we see the back of the canvas? I was late coming in."
There.
Now, can I see the front? Okay. There you go. I don't know why, but we aim to please.
Now this is the wonderful thing about being able to combine a watercolor effect with oil, with an oil painting effect. Look at the colors I'm able to layer in here. See the blue greens that are coming in here?
You're getting some great tonalities.
You do, and I mean it would be, you do, and it's just it's wonderful. And you've got, let's see, I think I need a little more yellow. But I'm telling you what, I love it. I love this style of painting, and it can be, and you usually see it small because again, watercolors, framing a watercolor is very expensive. But to have both looks. Here's this lighter color here, adding some white to that light green. There you go. All right, so man, it doesn't take that long to do either. Do you think?
No.
Doesn't take that long to do.
No. Most of your time, again, it's going to be spent on getting the canvas prepped before you do the work.
Yeah, and see, that probably has to dry before I can do much of that. Now here's where somebody asked about that luminous rose color. Here's where you'll see it. I thought I got it all put back here. No?
It's not in the whole bunch drawer?
Should be.
Yeah, you're right, it should be.
Opera's in here.
Oh, you want me to sing opera? Is that what you said?
That luminous red, it's weird, John.
It's not there?
Let's see everything but that.
So you got to have it for this painting.
Well, let's see if you can find it.
I'm here for you, my queen.
All right, so.
Oh, how about the luminous violet, though? I love that color.
Let's get that color out. This is called luminous violet. We should do a couple of those.
And here's the luminous rose, which is next to the violet.
Okay, all right, luminous rose. All right, that's what we want. Luminous rose. People always ask that. And
Great colors.
yeah, it is a great color. And so we're gonna just show you that.
Boys. Okay.
Do something kind of small. Okay, I want to put a little yellow here. Right up here on my flowers. See, this is what I love about, being able to do stuff like that. You can kind of, there you go, just play with the colors. All right, so this is luminous rose in white, and I want you to see what it does. Here's just the pure color. And of course everything's always, and I want some of that white to show through that I painted on. Okay, you can see the difference. And I'm going to put a little bit of purple with it too. On the left side it's a little bit darker.
Ooh.
So I'm going to add some of this purple color.
Look at that color, boys. What do you think of that?
A little bit luminous purple color. And a little bit of
luminous violet's a great color.
Yeah, it's really pretty, isn't it? And then now we'll cut kind of something a little bit less vibrant here in the front. Okay, and then maybe a little bit of red and white. Let's try that.
Steffi, you've got the wrong link there, honey.
What link did she do?
For the mugs for last week. So, Steffi, try again. Wait.
Huh?
Can Ginger explain how to use black lava? What's black lava?
Black lava is made by Liquitex.
Oh, really?
And I love that. I love it. They're the only ones that make it. Again, it's one of those things where you either get it from them or you get it from nobody. Does it make sense?
No.
And nobody else has it.
I've never even seen it.
And where it's really nice is in abstracts. It's not something I would normally put in a painting, but I like it very much in abstracts. And you can, you have to play with it, but that's what you use it for. That's what I used it for, the black lava. Because it makes it makes like sparkling sand of black, and it's almost got a mica effect to it. It's very, bright. Alright, so we're just putting a little dabs of color on these. Alright, how light can we make that? Yeah. And let's see, here's a little bit of red. I'm going to just come up here with a little bit of red in some of this.
Well, that's a good question. Lori's asking, I have absorbent ground for watercolors. Could I use that, or is that specific absorbent ground for acrylics?
I don't know.
I don't
I
either.
have no idea. You'd have.
Well,
Again,
why would
this
you have
is
an
where
absorbent ground for
this is-
watercolor?
This is where you this is where you want to write the manufacturers of these companies.
Yeah, that one,
and ask
Lori, I
them,
don't
right.
know on that.
Write the
I would take a little piece of
manufacturers.
canvas and see what it does. I mean, what the heck?
Okay, so I'm going to do a little bit brighter
Grab some of
gold
your
up
6x8s.
here. These flowers.
Would Ginger be willing to do a block lava painting for us? We even have block lava? I've never seen it in
I think we probably have some, but yeah, but there really isn't. We don't do a lot of. Just buy some and spray it on something and see what it does. I mean, it's just really, honestly, you don't need me to do it for you. It just is an accent color on for your there. Okay, so that's. Oh, I love the light in this painting.
As you should.
I want something really bright orange.
Is Ginger still adding water to the flowers?
No, we haven't used water since we dried it.
Nope.
There's no more water.
We're on the
Only
oil
the
painting now.
First coat was water, and after that it was it's just the way we normally paint stuff. But you have that watercolor effect. See what I'm saying? Here's a little bit of the purple flowers in here. Just by doing that. Just give them a few little purple ones. So that's what's so neat about using a medium like this. Well, I'm adding a little blue here now. And I might add some of that over here. It wasn't in my reference, but I might add some of this over here too, just to kind of indicate there might be something else. It's kind of purple and yellow are complements. There's a lot of yellow over there. So if I add a few little purple flowers onto this edge, maybe growing over in there, I think that's nice. Okay, something like that. We're going to say there.
Oh, Brenda just wanted to know, does the paint go through? She wanted to see the back to see if the paint went through. No.
Oh, this?
Yeah, when we show the back, no. No, it's gesso, which is going to block it, and then we had absorbent ground on top of that, but no. Has Ginger ever used glass bead medium?
Yeah, I didn't like it.
And what's that one for?
Well, it makes little beads and stuff. I just never found a use for it. They look. You can dump anything. In fact, I talked to the Matisse guy one time about all the stuff that people put in gels. It's your clear gel with whatever else they want to dump in it. Okay, but they have to be careful because they have to sanitize everything. And you can go basically to the beach and rinse out the sand and add it to a gel and make some sort of a textured thing with it. But they're not going to sell that to you because obviously there's bugs and there's stuff at the beach, and they can't have the liability of that. Yes?
Yes and yes.
See? Let's get some darker greens down here. Okay, well, I think we're getting pretty close to finding a home for this, John.
Alrighty.
If you think of someone that might want to win this.
Let's see, where are my people?
But I want you guys to try something like this. Give this a try. Don't be afraid to try out.
To venture out.
Yeah, exactly. Venture out. Try stuff like this. See if you might not enjoy it. If you just, get out of your comfort zone. Explore. That's what I would tell you. Explore your options. Gonna kind of darken this a little bit. Well, something a little bit darker coming down from the top here. Kind of bring your eye back into our picture. Let's get something a little bit dark. And it does dry lighter too, by the way. It'll dry lighter for you. So this was more of our dark side of this. But definitely, this definitely dries lighter.
Really nice effect.
It is a nice, and again, you can come back with you can have the wicking effect. You can come back with the shadows. You don't have to, one of the things that's always kind of fun to do. People don't think you guys ever think about that, but for instance, when you're talking about pots and stuff, a lot of times there'll be like a moss growing on them or something like that. There might be a little moss, and you can add the dry brushing effect to something like this. You don't have, doesn't have to be just your watercolor effect. You can have both, which I think is so cool. You can absolutely have both.
So Phyllis asking, so you only use the absorbent ground medium when you want to have the watercolor effect?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, you want something to just kind of, you made something wicking all in the background, and then you're going to talk about it later. Does that make sense? So it's all wicking back there, and then you decide you're going to do something else, right?
So I have a winner.
Okay, wait, do you have a winner? Let me just finish, and then you can announce it. Okay?
Pink face.
So I had a little bit more to do on that, but I just thought.
Well, you told me to pick somebody.
Huh?
You told me to pick somebody.
I want you to pick somebody, but I'm just, like I say, I'm going to just.
I'm not going to say anything. I'm
I
going to
just
keep it
wanted
quiet.
to bring this out a little more, this flower pot. Just give it a little bit more oomph. Yeah, there we go. A little bit more. Is that what we wanted, you guys? A little more oomph, right? That's the word, right?
Oomph.
That's our oomph. Okay. So, all right. Let me just move all this. How did that get all messy? Kind of show you what it looks like here. And I want to put a little of this color over in here. That was in my reference, and I like that up in that corner. And just suggest that there might have been something up here that was. Look at it. There we go. Some purples up in there, a little bit of orange up in here. This is where it fun's to be. This is where it gets to be so fun when you're painting, because it's a nice garden. It's got stuff growing. We're just seeing some of it. That's all we're seeing, just some of it. So, any other questions? Quick questions while I'm finishing this up, John.
Lynn asked, well, we're a talkative group tonight.
What's that?
We're a talkative group tonight. I gotta go find it.
What kind of? We have a lot of likes. So we got some people liking us. How many people are out there?
636.
Wow.
Lynn said, I did not hear clearly. Can John repeat what you said for the watercolor effect? Oh, Lynn, we're using absorbent ground. Show it one more time. A lot of people just got off work. Because you got to remember now we're at a different time than. So if you can show that absorbent ground, is that you put that down on top of your gesso before you start painting.
And let that sit for a day or two.
Yep, and then it makes it like a watercolor paper, and you use more water with your acrylics, and you're going to get that blurry background. And that's called wicking, when it wicks out like that.
Yeah, I wanted to
You
bring
see
it.
down on the dark lines, down on the tile on the ground, how they all just kind of bled out. That's wicking. Somebody asked what wicking is. That's what wicking is.
Yep. All right, so that, you guys, is, which
I
I
hope that
think is,
was what you were
I think
looking
that's just
for.
kind of way cool. Don't you guys think that's way cool? You know, let's see, I need a little bit darker right here. Sometimes you just have to figure out where your lights and darks are so that you can, want something a
Is
little
the
bit dark.
Salvador discount still available? As far as we know, it's been working.
We ask you to go to our,
It's right in the link. There's a link, and the discount code is right in the description of this video.
yeah. Now, the question is going to be asked, can you use your Posca pens on this too? And you can. Absolutely, you can use them to sign with. You can use them to, you know, if you needed to, we're doing this pretty small, right? So if you like needed a little detail or something, but the whole idea behind a painting like this is you don't want the detail. That's the whole trick. You don't want the detail. You want it to be just this sort of
Very impressionistic.
very impressionistic, you know, painting, very, very impressionistic. And let's see, I want to do one more thing. I always see that. I say that, and then I see something. Do you ever do that as an artist? You see, like you see something, you see one more thing.
Yeah, some of your one more things take another hour and a half. When you
Yeah,
say
but
this
I'm just sort of tapping that on there to kind of tone that purple
I know
back
what your
just a
one more
little.
things
Just
are.
had to tap that little purple back. It's there, but then it's again you can layer.
I'm
Yeah.
not going to give the winner name until I see 637 thumbs ups.
Come on, you guys. Let's get some thumbs up here.
Let's give some love, huh?
Come on. Some thumbs up here. It's just a nice.
John, once you get a layer of paint on the ground, does it no longer wick? As long as it stays wet, it'll keep wicking. And it's going to stay wet a little bit longer because of being absorbent, and it's going to wick it out there. So that's why she had to dry it, because you wanted to go then into the oil color, oil technique of leaving the heavier.
Yep, it's just shaking up my shaking up our stuff here.
You want me
Shaking up
to
our.
get that started for you, my queen?
You know, I'm working on it. There you go. Like for instance, if I wanted a few more little, you
Have
know,
your little petals.
little petals here on my daisies, you know, I could add that. See what I mean? Because this is acrylic. Posca pens are acrylic paint. All right, that's what they are. They're acrylic paint. So they're just acrylic paint in a pen.
Sabrina would like to know, how do you avoid straight lines? My problem is how do you avoid straight lines?
Well, I don't know.
You know what
I
you
don't
do is practice our little practice your oval worksheet.
Yeah, practice your oval worksheet. Yeah, absolutely. Practice that and see what you get.
Most people either want a straight line or.
And yeah, practice that and see what you
I'm
get.
not sure
right?
on that one.
And practice that and see what you get. I haven't put my red slash through it yet. Have you noticed that?
We had 354 entries today.
We had 354?
Entries. That's all the people that wanted it.
Really?
I was surprised too.
No kidding.
All right, I'm ready to announce the winner. We got up to 446 likes, so that's got 150
Announce
people.
the winner, John. Do announce the winner. Go
The
ahead.
winner of the pink vase of flowers is Sally Marty. Wait a minute. Wait. Martigana? Marty. Sally M.
Sally M.
I don't know. Sally, if you're still out there, please send me your mailing address. I believe you're in California.
Yes and yes.
Yes and yes.
Send us your mailing address. Yes, absolutely.
I'm on my phone for just comments and thumbs. Don't know how to interact on TV. Can it be done? No, I don't think the TV you can interact on.
Mm-mm.
Maybe newer ones, but not current ones.
I think this one's fun. I hope you guys like it.
I did.
You know, I think it's a nice thing to kind of share. And like I say, the way that the Salvador paints work, because they're very soft body paint, they they're perfect for this too. They really are. They're absolutely perfect for it. So I think sometimes it's kind of fun to, try something different. And if you feel like trying, maybe you've always admired paintings that look like this, and so I wonder how they did it. Well, that's how they do it. And still keep your acrylics, going here. Just something fun to do.
And it says you can interact with the TVs. You must have a newer TV. Our TV you can't.
So who won it?
That was Sally M.
Where's she from?
California.
Well, we had a couple of. Well, California's a big state, so.
That's all she gave me. I'm sorry.
Huh. Okay.
The nerve of her, right?
Wow. I mean.
Hey,
yeah.
Ginger, do you have a question for tonight?
I do, John. I'll tell you what. I'm going to ask you guys. This would have been the day John and I would have been married on the 28th of May on a cruise ship. So, if you'd like to be an unguest at our wedding today, since we didn't have a wedding,
sign our
go ahead
unguest book.
on our comment book on our comment at the end of the shit. Where you do add the comments at the end, not during the live chat, but at the very end, because go ahead and sign our unwedding day book, and just leave a comment. And hope you had fun today.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you Monday. Enjoy.
I'm a student, I say with glee, of Ginger Cook's Academy. Take your time and do not rush. Use ruby satin, silver brush. Don't use black and mix the green. Learn what blend and grayscale mean. Yes, I hope each day to earn coaching praises as I learn. I'll be an artist, wait and see. Ginger means the world to me.